I haven't played Splatoon in a long time, but it was good to come back to it. But there are some problems that they definitely need to get to addressed. For example, the main hub. It's honestly kind of confusing. I was lost for like 30 minutes. Everyone said they couldn't do anything for me because the demo or I wasn't high enough level. But it might just come down to personal preference. In that I just like a menu. I don't need to walk around. I mean, like the place looks cool for like the first 2 minutes, and the music's pretty great, but it kind of fades away after multiple times in there. I'd rather just go through a menu system. Granted, you can fast travel and get to where you need to be just by going to the start menu and going across the map, but I think it'd be a lot better if it was just a menu. But they're all about creativity and art, so I'll give them a pass there. But again, that might just come down to personal preference. Let's get into the inky meat and potatoes on this one, which is there's so many weapons. I was like blown away. There's so many different types of weapons, and I basically sucked with all of them except for the minigun. And I love the minigun. I thought it was really fun. But I guess really the weapons kind of come down to what mode you're playing. Since there's multiple modes, like trying to get the most ink on the map versus like a team deathmatch version. There's different modes. So the weapons really depend on what mode you're playing, because you might have a preference, but it might not help you in that particular mode. Like in Tricolor, which I'll get to in a minute, it's like 4v2v2, and I couldn't tell if I'm supposed to be killing my opponents, or am I supposed to be getting paint on the ground. Like I couldn't find the balance, and that was really hectic. And there's so many weapons. There isn't enough time for a one-day demo to try out all the weapons, but I tried like the ink sword and the minigun, the dual splats, and they all felt unique, which is great. But there's just so many more to try out. It's gonna take a long time for people who are gonna master all of them, and at least that's probably where like the most replay value is when the game comes out. That way you can like master each weapon. Although it appeared that some are more cosmetic than they are actually like unique. But I could be wrong on that. So I'm excited to try them all out when the game comes out. But I hope they come out with some kind of like actual menu system. Like, yeah, they have favorites, but I should be able to divide the favorite, like favorite for this mode, favorite for that mode, etc., etc. That would be nice. Back to try mode though, or tricolor. I'm very conflicted about how I feel about it. So, logic is like, one team has 4 players, the other two teams have 2. And it's like, once you hit halftime mode, the losing team gets the extra 2 people, which, to a degree, I understand. But it just doesn't feel right. And I feel like they always won when they had 4 players. Like, every time I played, and whatever team got the other 2 players would just win. And it didn't seem fun. It didn't seem, it just felt like unfair. And then, why not just have 2v2v2? Obviously, they can handle it. Like, usually it's 4v4, right? But you could have just done 2v2v2, because then you're still hitting... Well, you're hitting 6 at that point, rather than 8. And it's doable. But I also think that they could have done 3v3v3. I don't see why they couldn't... Or maybe the game just couldn't handle 9 people? I feel like it could. I'm not really seeing any reason why it can't. But I feel like that would have been the optimal way to do this. And for some reason, it's not. And they obviously added tricolor modes, so that way there's more events where there's 3 options instead of 2. And I get that, and it's a good attempt. But I really hope, and I mean I really hope that they add a 3v3v3, because this 4v2v2, it ain't cutting it. The good news, though, after all said and done, it felt really fun. It felt solid. The only other complaint I would say is that in between lobbies, loading a weapon, like going from picking from weapon to weapon, very slow. There was like a 1-second delay between picking, or moving the cursor to each weapon. That was incredibly annoying. And I also kind of don't like that you're locked to one weapon for the whole match. I don't see why, because I feel like you should be able to adapt to the enemy and use what you want. So, I mean, I guess in that sense it makes it unique, so that way you're just locked in. But at that point, then you're really going to need to have like a voice chat team, because that way you can communicate and like, all right, you take the bucket, I'll take the sword, etc., etc. Or else now you're just locked into, like, some people can have the 4 same weapon. I don't know what's going to be super popular, but, I always want to pick the minigun, but it's going to suck if multiple people have the minigun. So, but that's something they can actually change, and I hope they do. Will they, though? Who knows? It'd just be a really nice quality of life to be able to switch on the fly, but maybe because it's Splatoon, it's just a different atmosphere. But as I was saying, it's still solid. Like I didn't feel any frame drops during the gameplay. Felt smooth. I turned off motion control because it just felt really weird with playing on normal controller. But that might be the better way to go actually. It didn't feel any frame drops. I'm excited for the was it the chum battle or like the wave survival? That seemed pretty fun. But this game definitely feels like it's multiplayer meant with friends. They don't have any dedicated voice chat. You have to use the app, which is ridiculous. But if you look past that, it was worth it. I'm gonna play it. I'm probably gonna have fun. I want to try out ranked mode and be the best painter I can possibly be. So here's the hoping that I can decide between a squid or a kid. And once I make that decision, I'm never going back. This is Goons Games and Gear. I don't have a motto yet. Have a good one. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, because that's like the sellout thing to do. Thanks.